Hey guys, hey, I wanted to talk to you guys about something I've been thinking a lot about and I have a lot of experience with. It's called the sunk cost fallacy or sunk cost bias. You see those two interchange. Look at Einstein. Basically, what the sunk cost fallacy is, sunk cost is a cost you already incurred. So it's basically something that you've already done. You can't do anything about it. So you just kind of have to move on, you know? And this is a place where I kind of got stuck the majority of my life. Looking back on my life, somebody told me to do like an inventory, you know what I mean, of my life and what's been happening to me over the years and that sort of thing. It really all comes down to the sunk cost fallacy, right? I always thought that I needed to keep putting in and that it was always going to get better. You know what I mean? So say, I'll give you an example. You're in this relationship, like me with my ex-fiance, right? We got to a point where, everything was great. Everything was awesome. You know what I mean? We ended up moving in together at, I think it was 8 months. And then we bought a house, or asked her to marry me at like 14, 15 months, something like that, right? And from the point that she moved in with me to the point where I asked her to marry me, I saw red flags. I saw things happening, right? There was this one instance where she actually cussed at me, told me, fuck you. And I was like, oh, I'm not having this, man. I'm not going to be in that type of relationship, you know what I mean, where we disrespect one another. She came back, she apologized, and you know what I mean? Then, I went back and, I gave her another chance. And, I'm real big on second chances, right? I mean, third chance, you're done. I mean, that's it. There is no third chance. But second chances, you know what I mean? I thought I knew her. I thought I knew her a little bit better than what I did. And, in retrospect, I didn't spend enough time. I mean, moving in at 8 months, asking her to marry me at, 14, 15 months, that was just way too fast, man. You know what I mean? And, you got to hire slow fire fast, guys. You really do. In my experience, be real cautious. Just be real cautious. Don't be mean or anything like that. Just be real cautious. Pay attention to her actions. And if they don't vibe with what your beliefs are, then get out. You know what I mean? Don't waste time. And that's what a lot of us do. That's what I did. I'll tell you one thing. I did it a lot. This is one example, right, of me and my ex-fiance. I mean, I kept going. I kept, I'm going to put more into this. I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more. I'm going to try more. And she ended up cussing at me. I didn't give up on her then. I found out she was an alcoholic. I still didn't give up. I went back during COVID. We ended up dating. And honestly, man, she didn't change one bit. It actually got worse. After I found out she was drinking, she got to a point where she was just not the same person that I fell in love with. You know what I mean? I mean, she was still a great person. I still thought she was great. But there were still all these red flags there, you know what I mean? Those are the types of things that you got to pay attention to. And the thing is that I missed out on some opportunities. Like I'll remember one time, it was after she told me fuck you and disrespected me. It was after that we went on a staycation here in town, right? At one of the really nice resorts and stuff. Just sat by the pool, just kind of kicked back. And I remember she was in bed, and I said, I'm going to go get us some coffee because I'm a really early riser, And I went off to get some coffee at this little coffee shop that they have there at the resort. And there was this really cute girl there, man. I mean, and she was flirting like crazy with me, man. We had a really good conversation, but I couldn't do anything about it, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't do anything about it, because I had already invested the time, and I thought I had to invest more time into that relationship because I thought it was going to pay off. I thought it was going to pay dividends. And really, I just missed out, right? And in my defense, a lot of the reasons why I kept doing this is because my blue-pilled friends, right, would always tell me, you give up on relationships too easy, Rich. You move on. You don't give them a chance. And to be quite honest with you, in retrospect, I really thought about this a lot, guys. And, I did give it a chance. The problem is that I was seeing a lot of red flags, and it didn't vibe with my inner voice, right? My intuition. I was just like, yeah, something's just not right here, And ultimately, I ended up listening to my intuition. I didn't listen to those fuckers, right? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that you really have to pay attention to, guys. You got to pay attention to what people are doing, not what they're saying. Because she gassed me up and told me all kinds of great shit, but her actions were completely different. And that's just one example, guys. That's a relationship example. But I've had a lot of friends that do the same thing. If I had a nickel for every time somebody came up and said, Rich, you're a great guy. You're my best friend. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do this and that. If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me that, man, I'd be fucking Jeff Bezos, man. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. They gassed me up. They told me all kinds of cool shit, but yet their actions were not congruent with what they were saying. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting the short end of the stick. I believed what they said and didn't pay attention to what they did. And then, I'm the one holding the short straw. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things, guys. Be real careful. If you're young listening to this, if you're in high school, because this happened to me in high school, man. I remember in high school, these guys that I was hanging out with, man, I knew some of them since junior high, right? And I started hanging out with them a lot, and I don't know, I liked them, and I had history with them. One guy I played baseball with, the other guy I went to junior high with, and then just another guy just kind of joined our group or whatever, you know what I mean? But it was cool, and they ended up walking away from me. They totally sold me out in high school, and it was pretty fucked up. Luckily, I had other friends, and I just went on and did my only thing. But I had a lot of friends that didn't like the guys that I was hanging out with, and in retrospect, man, they were fucking losers, man. I don't even know why I hung out with them. I just knew their parents, and I felt bad for them, you know what I mean? And I tried, and I was a jock. I've been a jock my entire life, you know what I mean? Always been pretty decent at sports, and they hung out with me, I think, because they just wanted to up their cred. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to toot my own horn or whatever. I don't really give a fuck. That was high school. High school doesn't even fucking matter. You know what I mean? But the thing was, I was always my own person. You know what I mean? And they kind of, like, people gravitated towards me. So, but I was a little bit of a follower, in junior high and high school. I didn't grow into my own at that particular time. I knew I wanted to go this direction, but I thought I had to conform to go this direction. You know what I mean? Because that was the norm. That was what everybody was doing. And, yeah, in retrospect, man, I did some stupid shit. I should have really fired those guys and gone and hung out with other people and moved around a little bit more, dated more, and just, gotten out of relationships when I knew it was over. There was so many relationships that I look back on that I should have gotten out, man, and just kept moving. Because you know what? It's opportunity cost, right? If you don't move on and if you don't keep moving, maybe you'll never find that person. That's kind of what happened to me, right? I didn't move on. I stayed with that person. I gave him a chance, even though there was red flags. And, back then I didn't know how to identify the red flags. I mean, I knew that they were there, but ultimately what broke me up with them was my intuition and my inner voice. It would tell me, nah, this is just not the situation for you. And that inner voice has gotten me out of a lot of shit, man. I'll tell you right now, but I didn't listen to it early enough is what I'm trying to say. And, that's the sunk cost fallacy. If you get that inner voice telling you right then and there, you need to listen to it, reevaluate the situation, and get the fuck out, man. Keep moving. Keep going forward. Don't go backwards. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of women, a lot of dudes that you're gonna hang out with that are like that crab in the bucket, man. You're trying to crawl out of that bucket. They keep pulling you down because misery loves company, guys. So do not let them pull you down. Get out, move on, and keep moving. But the one thing that I noticed with a lot of people, and part of it was my fault too, was that I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I didn't have a lot of. Now I have confidence galore. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. I'll keep moving. It doesn't matter. You want to be my friend, great. If you don't, you kiss my ass. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. I just do my thing. I don't ask permission from anybody. I'm just me. And, I figured that shit out in my late 30s, early 40s when I started listening to Corey Wayne. And, he made me feel like it was okay to be who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? And go down this path, not this other path, So that's the number one thing, guys, is you got to be confident in yourself. You got to be congruent with that. And you got to be calm. You got to be calm. If you want to meet women, you got to stay within yourself. You got to be cool, calm, collective, and just be chill about the world. You know what I mean? The world's a wonderful place. The world is going to give you exactly what you put into it. And if you're calm, cool, and collective, and you just go through life beating to your own drum, you're going to get that back. Trust me, guys. I did it out of my entire life, out of my 48 years, right? I've had 2 years where I felt like that, right? And it was absolutely fantastic, man. It was bliss, right? I got dinged with my ex-fiance, and then the Mormon chick that I dated. It kind of dinged me. It knocked me back. It kicked me in the balls a couple times. And now I'm getting back there, right? I haven't reached that bliss point that I felt back then, but I'm on my way. You know what I mean? I have no more fucks to give. I'm just living life, and I'm enjoying every day. I enjoy my life a little bit more. And when you guys get to that point, guys, when you guys get to that point where you love your life and you love looking at that guy in the mirror or that girl in the mirror, nothing can knock you off that pedestal, man. And don't let anything knock you off that pedestal. I gave it up because I still had this belief system that was still, that the foundation was still in that blue pill narrative, right? And it's taking me an additional 8 years to turn that off, man. To completely turn that off and not, this narrative, this blue pill narrative that's sold to you that you're going to meet the one and you're going to fall in love, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, you're going to do all this stuff, right? That shit is gone now, right? It should have been gone 8 years ago or 9 years ago, but now it's gone, right? I still was optimistic about that, but now I'm living for me. I live for myself, and I answer to nobody, and that's all there is to it, man. And you know what? Life is bliss. Life is getting better every single day, and I want you guys to feel this, man. You know what I mean? I put my efforts into people who matter, not people who don't. You know, like my Einstein, my mom, you know, my closest friends, the guys that I play golf with, that, you know, my buddy up in that lives 120 miles away from me. You know what I mean? That's where I put my efforts, guys. You know, I don't waste my time with anything else, because you know what? Life is too short. Even if you're in your 20s, man, or teens, life is too short, man. Don't waste your fucking time. Keep moving and keep going forward. Don't let anybody pull you back. All right? I really hope that worked out, guys. I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. And, you know, if I could look in the mirror and give myself the advice, you know, 25 years ago, this is exactly what I would say. You know, would I have listened to it? Maybe not. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I hope you guys listen to me, because it's real. All right, guys. Hey, stay up. Really missed you guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.